now. People will come slowly.
On the other day?
I told you, your tagline
is what brings the oilam. Yeah, I forgot to make a tagline this week. This is what's it called. I'm in the store. My wife's like, why are you still in the store? You have a share in a few minutes. I'm like, oh, shoot. Just checking out in the store. Okay.
Assuming you shouldn't check out. Just leave.
Just leave with the store. It's echet emes. And the mazel is, usually, the day off, I sit an hour in the morning, and whatever, if 5 o'clock, I sit down and prepare the shir. And the mazel is, last night I had a Hatzalah shift, and decided, last time I'm going to prepare the shir last night. During the Hatzalah shift, you can either waste your time, you can catch up work, or Chaz v'Shalom, if you have Chayvus Chit Islam, catch up that, or you can figure out how come Rav Chia, Rav Chia,
where in Berkowitz's van?
No, how come Rav Chia's his father is both his father and mother both had a joint brother. Anyways, the Gemara in Daf Yitesam on the base.
One second. Soon we're going to learn in the Chitas that Potiphar's wife had gezen as Leilam Haba. Yosef is one parish according to Rashi. Is that the same? Didn't Yosef wasn't Sophanas Panit? No, wasn't the lady that he married?
Osnas was Shechem and Dina's daughter.
Yeah.
So what does that have to do with her and Leilam Haba? It's not her daughter, B'chol. Potiphar's wife.
That's according to one medrash.
Yeah, that's
according to another medrash.
But
it's not the same person. Yeah. It's two separate girls.
He saw that out of his offspring is going to be.
Potiphar's daughter is this must be biological daughter if she saw in the stars that she's.
Different midrash. There's a lot of midrashim that it says Rashi last week. That why was Rachel buried on the side of the road?
No.
Because Yosef shouldn't be angry.
No, why is buried side of the road? Because she got punished.
Because she what's it called?
She was zilzil.
Yeah.
And then if you look in Parshas Vayechi, where it says in the beginning, what does Yaakov tell Yosef?
Don't be angry at me for not bringing
her there. Why? Because she was supposed to be buried there because of the we're saying different midrashim.
Yeah, and I love
the
one.
No, but that Milo could be simultaneously true.
The one Rivka tells Yaakov to go, take her with the B'chayla, and then she realizes the two sons are fighting. At the time, they were already 63 years old, and she so she makes this whole thing. Gets the two brothers to fight Ad Moves, and then goes tells Yitzchak, we have to find a shidduch. We tell him to find a shidduch, and then tells Yitzchak, okay, you tell him, I tried, this doesn't work. You tell him, go find the shidduch. That's Yitzchak is telling Yaakov, go find the shidduch. A very interesting thing. Okay, so Daf Yitesam on base, and this was done middle of the night. So let's see how this progresses. This was an interesting night learning. So, Daf Yitesam base on the bottom, so gesund. On the bottom, 6 lines from the bottom, boim and nearby David. To give a recap, we had the Mishnah Daf Yitesam with Aleph, and the Mishnah spoke. The Mishnah was discussing if someone's relative dies, someone that he has to sit Shiva, and if he dies 3 days before Yontif, so if he sits 3 days Shiva before Yontif, the Yontif comes, entire Shiva is done. Over. No, nothing. You don't keep any part of the shiva. You don't put on. Obviously, you don't put on leather. You don't have to not put on leather shoes. But you can do everything that you need and want during Yontif. And we came to Maskana last week, and we discussed today also that it's not only 3 days, but it's even an hour or a day or an hour before Yontif as well. But then the Gemara says that the line like this: that Shabbos is counted as part of the shiva, even though you don't openly do any things with the shiva, but quiet. But there's certain things that you do keep of the shiva. But basically, if you have someone passes away Friday is the day number 1, Shabbos is day number 2, and Sunday is day number 3. Not that Shabbos you skip and you count Sunday as day number 2. Yontif is different. If we were going according to the Mishnah, that you have to have 3 days before Yontif in order to be mevatel shiva. So if the person dies only 2 days before Yontif, so the first days, the 2 days before Yontif is day number 1, number 2. You go through the whole Yontif, and after Yontif you continue to count, because Vegel is mafsik. You stop it, ve'enor, it's not counted. And the reasoning that we're giving behind this, and this is going to be important now, is that whatever you don't do during that time period won't be counted. Shabbos, for example, there's certain things of Shiva are there. So therefore Shabbos, even though you don't sit Shiva, but it's still counted. However, Yontif, if someone passes away in Yontif, Shiva doesn't even start until after Yontif. If someone passes away before Yontif, Shiva stops. You don't do Shiva anymore. So therefore Yontif, you don't count because there's nothing there to count. You don't do anything of Shiva. So that's what the Gemara is saying. And then the Gemara says, the Mishnah is saying another thing, that we talk about Shloshim later on. But the Gemara says that the Yontif cuts down the Shiva, and we don't count the Yontif as part of the days of the Shiva. Why? If a person dies during Yontif, we don't even start Shiva. If a person dies before Yontif, then the Shiva stops. But the question here the Gemara is going to ask, what about Shloshim? We have a concept of Shiva, we have a concept of Shloshim. The Shloshim is, what's the Yontif do? Do we count the days of Yontif as part of the 30 days? Someone passes away 2 days before Yontif. Do we say, okay, Yontif comes 2 days, Shiva is over, 7 days of Yontif, now you're holding day number 9, and then you only have to count another 21 days for Shloshim? Or, because you say the same way, by Yontif, you don't count towards Shiva, so you skip Yontif, and you count day number 3. You don't sit Shiva anymore after Yontif, but day number 3 of Shloshim starts after Yontif. So basically, the 30 days after death is going to be earlier, but the day of Shloshim that everyone commemorates, which means that day that you're allowed to cut your hair, the day you're allowed to buy new clothing, that day is going to be on a much later date because you're skipping others. So what are we doing here? Zad the Gemara, Ba minei Abai Mel. We test someone's base on the bottom. Ba minei Abai Mel. Abai asked another question. If someone dies during Yontif and you bury the dead in Yontif, so we know already that Shiva does not start. But what's the question is going to be about Shloshim? Kaver b'regel, regel oiloi minyan Shloshim, or ein regel minyan Shloshim? Do we count the 7 or 8 days of Yontif as part of the Shloshim, or do we not count? Leminyan Shiva loy mikaboy. I'm not going to ask you about Shiva because we know already. We don't have the mitzvah of Shiva in Yontif. Mitzvah of Shiva we don't have it during Yontif. Why? Because if someone dies during Yontif, we don't even start Shiva until after Yontif. If someone dies before Yontif, Yontif stops the Shiva. I'm asking about Shloshim. Why? Because here is an interesting point. The konohago mitzvah Shloshim beregel. In Yontif, in Chol Hamoed, you're not allowed to cut your hair, just like an Aveilus is not allowed to cut his hair. You're not allowed to buy anything you don't need for Yontif, so no clothing or anything. Just like an Aveilus, during the Shloshim, he was allowed to buy anything. So Zakta, it looks like you're anyways keeping part of the mitzvahs of Shloshim because you're not cutting your hair. So because you do something that is like Shloshim, should we count those days as Shloshim? Or do we say, no, it doesn't make a difference. The reason why I'm not cutting the hair is because of Yontif, not because of Shloshim. Again, like I said before, Shiva we stop because there's nothing happening. You don't do any part of Shiva during Yontif. So we don't even count Shiva. Shabbos, there's certain Shivas, things that you do, but Sina, so you count Shabbos as 1 day. But Shloshim, during Chol Hamoed, you don't cut your hair, just like an Aveilus. So maybe count the days, the days of Yontif as part of the Shloshim. We don't count the Yontif. So basically, according to Rava, someone passes away the day out of Yontif, that's day number 1. You stop Shiva, because that's what's it called. You skip the whole Yontif, and then you continue counting. So according to some, actually you count after Yontif day number 2, because you skipped the whole Yontif. According to there are some, you count day number 8. Why? Because out of Yontif is the whole Shiva goes down. So it's considered the 7 days. So it's the first day is 7 days. Go 8 days of Yontif, and then you continue the day number 8. In any case, and some people will say even more than that. When it comes to Sukkot, the first day of Sukkot is 1 Yontif. Second day of Sukkot is a separate Yontif. One is Sukkot, Chag HaSukkot, one is Chag. What's it called? Shmini Atzeres Chag Hazeh. So it's 2 Yom Tovim. So some say someone sits Shiva a day or 2 before Yontif. Sukkot comes, so that's the day. The end of Yontif starts sitting Shiva. That's 7 days. Comes the first day of Yontif, so that's it. Then it goes to the second Yontif. It's another Yontif, so it's another 7 days. So after Yontif, it's 14 already. So now you only have to sit 2 weeks of Shiva. So 2 weeks of Shloshim. It's a machlokes back and forth. It's not. What to do with Poel Mamish, I don't know. But it's not the Gemara weiter. So basically, we asked him a question. The Rav says, yes, Yontif is not counted part of Shloshim. you start the count of Shiva, you stop it by Yontif, you're done Shiva, comes Yontif, you skip the days, and then you continue counting the Shloshim, which means that the 30th day of death is not gonna come on the same day as the 30th day of Shloshim that you can remember Shloshim. So we're gonna ask a bunch of questions on the Rav's statement. This is according to the opinion that yes, you have to have 3 days before Yontif. If you don't have 3 days before Yontif, then you have to continue sitting Shiva after Yontif. So someone varies his dead 2 days before Yontif. Then he sits 2 days of Shiva before Yontif. 5 days he sits after Yontif. And after Yontif, during Shiva, someone else can do his work because Aveilus is not allowed to work. And his servants and his maidservants can do any type of work they need to do if the item that they're working with is going to be lost. It's going to be a loss. They're allowed to do b'tzina in a quiet, hidden way. And Zakt Gemara, interesting point. Ve'ein rabin misaskin imoy shekvanis askaboy beregel. Rabim, the multitudes, the majority of people don't come to be menachem avel. Why? Because they came to do menichem avelim in Yontif. Very interesting point. That basically you're sitting Shiva 2 days before Yontif. Then the next 5 days of Yontif, people can still come up and do Shiva in Yontif. I mean, not the Yontif itself, but obviously Chol Hamoed. They continue doing Shiva. He doesn't sit Shiva, but they can be menachem avel. After Yontif, he has to continue sitting Shiva, and no one has to be menachem avel. Ein Rab is asking imoy.
Von Arisi by PTA, the Godel Shabbat was Menachem Avel, somebody that he didn't get a chance to go to Shiva.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll tell you after that. It's not for the footage.
Schön. Sagt die Gemara weiter. Klal Shadav, Daf Chaf Medal. Klal Shadav. There's a general rule. Kol Shum Mishum Avel. Anything that it pertains to the Avel itself, to the single person, the Avel. So a regel mafsikoi. So here the regel stops him. The Chol Shum Mishum Isker Rabim, something that affects the many, the Rabim. Why? Because when it's an Avel, okay, you're going to have to continue after Yantif, you continue your Aveilus. But if the Rabbim is involved, they're going to have to start remember they have 2 days here and 5 days here. We don't say that. You go.
In Shiva, like come to be Menachem Avel him?
Pashat said be Menachem Avel and Hamoed. Come over and say, you know what's it called? Menashemaim to Nechamu, according to some of what we say. Pashat Azoi. So Menachem Avel. Yeah. The Glashi says, "Ve'ena masaskim yid afitesam with Beis last Rashi, shekvanach kloy me'en sich in the nachme achregel, berof to be nachme achregel, shekvanach hamu shiva yom beregel." They did 2 days before Yontif, and 5 days during Yontif they came possibly menachem avel during Yontif. Obviously, we don't say the halacha is not like that, but that was the Mishnah, and we'll see in a second what's the question on the Dava. Sagt weiter. Roger is graben en mafsikai. If he buried the dead during Chol Hamoed, 3 days before the second Yontif, then you have to start counting 7 days after Yontif to sit Shiva. However, because 3 days the body is already buried for 3 days, the people have a chance to be Menachem Avel for 3 days. So the only amount of days that the people have to come be Menachem Avel is 4 days after Yontif. The first 4 days, people come in Menachem Avel. Is asking by why? Because in the Yontif they have already had 3 days to come in Menachem Avel, and they're talking different. The trying to speak about what exactly is the Tzizis of Avla and all different things. But in any case, the point is that we see from here that during Yontif the oilam can be Menachem Avel. He said Shiva after Yontif, but the oilam can be Menachem Avel. And this Braisa finishes off with these words. The regel oileloi, and regel is counted. Counted for what? We just said that he has to sit Shiva 2 days before, 5 days after. We said that's the first case of this Braisa. Second case of the Braisa, we said he has to sit Shiva 7 days after. What does this regel oileloi? It means it goes about Shloshim. That the regel is counted towards Shloshim. So you have 2 days of Yontif. You count the 7-8 days of Yontif. Sorry, 2 days before Yontif we said Shiva. You count the 7-8 days of Yontif as part of the Shloshim. You continue the Shiva after Yontif. People don't have to come to say, Nechem Avelim. However, you continue to count regularly. That's l'chayda what's mashma, that the regel is oida, the regel is counted. A very question on David. David says that the regel is not counted. From here we see the regel oida means it's counted. My love, aseifa. Don't we say that this regel oida is about the second case? We had two cases. One case is where someone died before Yontif, and one case where someone died during Yontif. And during Yontif, we say we stopped it. We don't even count Shiva, but we count Shloshim. So the Rava says, no, Adeisha, this goes on the Adeisha. When you have Yonta before, when you start counting the count of Shiva before, you also start counting the Shloshim before. But if you don't start counting Shiva, according to the Rava, it says you don't even count Shloshim. So this way, it says Regel Oiloi means only if the person died. That's what the Rava is explaining. So another question. So again, the Rava says we don't count Shloshim. We don't count the days of Yontif towards the Shloshim. So I think about a very clear laisa. The regel is oil min shloshim. Keitzad kavoy betchilas regel. Yontif came in, person dies. First day of Hamoed, they bury the person. Yeah. So the person dies during Yontif. What do we say? Moed shiva achal regel. He starts counting shiva after Yontif. And because it's an novel after Yontif, he cannot do any work, someone else has to do work for him. And again, if there's something that's going to be a loss, his servants and his maidservants can do the work in his house quietly hidden. However, no one is coming to be Menachem Avil. Why? Because the person died in the beginning of Yontif. They already had the whole Yontif to Menachem Avil. And here we're talking about only one case, that the person dies during Yontif. And we start Shiva after Yontif. And still we say that even though the whole counting process only starts after Yontif, still the counting of Shloshim we do during Yontif is a big question on Rava's. The Gemara attack it to Yufta. The Rava's opinion is ugly for that. We took it off. We don't agree with it. Ki also Ravin, when Ravin came, Ravin was a big Hamoed. Ravin came and traveled. He was born in Babylonia today, in Iraq. And then he went to Tzizis, and then he came back. And he brought back, he learned, he became one of the biggest Talmidim at Tzizis. And he came back, he brought a lot of halachas that he learned. And the Talmidim always like, they want to hear what's going on at Tzizis. What's happening there. And what the different halachas that he came, then they approached him with many different questions about things that they were stuck at. And then what are the Talmidei at Tzizis saying about this? So he said the name of Yochanan, Afile cover b'regel, and even if someone buries someone in regel, that even someone buries a relative during Yontev, you start a count on Yontev, and you don't wait till after Shiva after Yontev. But counting Shloshim, you take a count during Yontif, and basically Rava's opinion is totally nixed, totally negated, and we're done with that. Amar Rav Huna, Amar Rav Chia bar Abba, Amar Rav Yochanan.
Tana Rabbanon.
Whoops. Tana Rabbanon. And the Rabbanon is that say. Kiyem Kfiyah Samita. In the olden days, there was a halacha, there was 11 things that an Avil had to do. 11 things. Two of the 11 things was Atifa Silish, a person has to go wrap his head around, and an oval, yeah. Once someone dies, for the next Shiva, you have to wrap your head around, and you have to flip your bed over. And the halach, if you look in Shulchan Aruch, we don't do wrapping the head, and we don't do flipping the bed. So there's many different reasons why. I mean, not many, but 2 or 3 different reasons brought down in halacha. That today we don't do kfiyah samita, we don't turn over the bed, because number one, our beds are not the same as the olden beds, which because of how their beds, they used to sit on the beds also. They used to sit, the whole day used to sit, they used to eat on the beds, everything was in the bed, so they had to make a distinction, so they had to flip the bed over. And the other thing was...
They would always flip the bed over every night, or no?
I don't know. Maybe, because, do you ever saw, I actually know someone that does full seba on Pesach, and he lays down like this, you don't on the floor, anyways. It's a sight to see, my brother told me that he was Merkashlicha, so he was eating the Seder with the oilam, and then it comes to the 4 kazesim, and it's Abachers pushing in the kazesim, and the mother and everything is going down. And the next year came back, and the guys were waiting, you guys see the rabbi do this whole ceremony. It's holy ceremony. Anyways, Zakta Azai. So back in the old days, he used to flip. So for two reasons. Number one, our beds are not the same. And number two, Kishef, Pashat. They say that the Goyim will come look at what Kishef Zachi, flipping beds, mices. It doesn't sound, what's it called? So they took it off. And also, Tifadash is actually a minik still by some, but not by everyone, especially not by the Ashkenazim. In any case, so Kiyam Kviyas Hamita Shashiyam Kan Regel. Basically, he did Shiva. He did all the minhagim of Shiva, all the mitzvahs of Shiva, 3 days before Yantav. Okay, so we know already 3 days before Yantav, according to all opinions, the whole Shiva is gone. You don't have to go back after Yantav for the last 4 days. Yes, Shiva is done. Not even 3 days, but even 1 day or 1 hour. This machloikas between Rabbi Eliezer and Chachamim is actually machloikas b'sham v'sil. Why? They has to be dafka 3 days. That was a Tana Rabbanon somewhere else. Now we're going to talk about our Mishnah. Rab Huna said in the name of Chia, in the name of Yechanan, or people flip it around that Rabbi Yechanan spoke to Rab Huna and Rab Chia. Even 1 day, 1 hour. The Rava said, and we discussed it last week, that you use a very interesting lashon. The Rava says the loch is like our Tana that says 3 days, and the Rava specifies the Omar Shloisha, not just the Tana says 3 days, but according to our Tana, but the Tana that says 3 days. Why? We explain because the machlokes between Rabbi Yochanan and Rava is not whether you have to sit 3 days or 1 day, whether the Tana says 3 days and someone else and Rabbi Yochanan disagrees, but both say that they understood the Tana in our Mishnah differently. Rabbi Yochanan understood him that 3 is lav dafka, and Rava understood him that 3 is dafka. And how do we know that? Because Rava says we go according to our Tana that says 3 days. If he only has to disagree, if all he wants to do is disagree, all he has to say, we go according to our Tana. The fact that he adds 3 shows us that he actually meant that that it's the Tana's 3. Zadi Gemara weiter. Ravina Ikla Surah. Ravina is also one of these guys. Ravina and Ravina also traveled back and forth Israel and the Babel. And then Ravina ended up being a Shiv in Surah. But when he arrived in Surah, he showed up in Surah. The Paras on the Euphrates River. There is, in Iraq, there's a place called Assyria, whatever that place. Amalei Rav Chaviva Ravina turned to Ravina. Tell me, you come from Etzisal, you walk around. What's Takadalacha? Maskana, 1 day, 1 hour is enough, and Shiva goes down. You don't have to sit Shiva after Yontif.
How does a minute ago we had that halacha is like the Tana of our.
Yeah, but we don't go according to the other. That's not the first place now in the Gemara.
Halacha is like this guy, but halacha is not like this.
Every when there's a machloikas with certain amidoim, we have a klolim, and when it's machloikas, I think Rabbi Yochanan, the halacha is according to Rabbi Yochanan, and b'sham besil also b'sham says 3, besil says even 1 hour. So we know already halacha is besil.
And we've been going like this for weeks. Or I'm saying we've been going at this from our.
Yeah. So this. Okay, zog the Gemara weiter. Yosef Rab Chia ba'Abba v'Rab Amma v'Rab Yitzchak Nafcha. Rab Chia ba'Abba and Rab Ami and Rab Yitzchak Nafcha sat a kilo the Rab Yitzchak ben Elazar in the corridor in the front doorway or hallway of his house, of Yitzchak ben Elazar's house. Nafach mitzvah benai. They were discussing, and something came out from they were talking. What's the gesagt? Minayin laveil shiva. How do we know that Aveilus is 7 days? How do we know that Aveilus have to sit 7 days? So what came out between them? Because it says in the pasuk, "V'fachti chageichem le'ovel." I flipped, I changed, switched your chag to an avel, and Yontav is 7 days. Ma chag shiva, Aveilus shiva. Maybe we're talking about Atzeres. It's only 1 day. Maybe chageichem is talking about Yontav Shuas. It's only 1 day. Ve'im Atzeres the chad yomer. When are we going to use that sedes? We're going to use Yontif of Shavuos for a different thing. Like the Shlakish, the Amar Shlakish, the Yehuda, and this Abiyud Nesiyah. How do we know when someone does not find it right away that a relative passed away, found that after the shloshim was over, that is called shmua l'choika. Shmua k'roiva is if someone finds out that a relative passed away before the shloshim was over. So if someone finds out before the shloshim was over, shmua k'roiva, you have to sit shiva and you have to do all the minhagim of shiva. If someone finds out after the shloshim is over, the shmua l'choika, you only sit for a very short time. So Reish Lakish said in the name of Yehuda Anasi, or Yehuda Nisa is actually someone else. How do we know that a shmua choik is only one day? If you find it after shloshim that you only sit one day, the same pasuk. I've already used shvuas and sukkahs for knowing that we have to sit shiva for 7 days. So we find out that at Yontif we apply to this thing. We apply shvuas. Shvuas is only one day. So when you find out that someone passed away after shloshim, you only sit for 1 day. So there is a Rishon that asked the question, a simple question. This pops up right away. What? That's a good question, but that's not what he's asking. He's asking who gives this chacham the right to choose. When we say chag now, we count shiva. Who's that? Maybe everyone sit shiva 1 day. You find out that your relative died after 30 days, sit shiva 7 days. Whatever. So his name is Abuda Mi. What's his name? Al Madari. And he explained that just like Pesach and Shavuos are the main Yom Tovim, ones that are not the main, but the ones that are known, it's 7-8 days. It's a long Yom Tov. There's a more tadil, that are more applicable, they come around more often in a way because it's 14 days. Than Shavuos, it's only 1 day. So therefore, when we're talking about usually if someone finds out that the relative passed away, regularly right away. So we're talking about everyone. We apply the majority of Yom Tovim. When it comes to the cases, to the rare cases, we apply the yontif that's considered a rare yontif of atzeres. Okay, side note. An interesting thing, I don't know the answer to that. I started digging, but I actually wanted to call some of the banim in what's it called in Chaim Meluchim today to find out what is the halacha today applicable today with the bodies that they are finding out now who these bodies are. The October 7th, Simchas Torah, Hamas burned bodies.
If you find out about a relative 30 days after it was nifter, you sit a half hour.
Okay, hold on a sec. Here's two svaras that I'm thinking two svaras, and we can discuss that. I don't know what lachas. Sure. So you have body was killed, definitely killed on October 7th, was burned. We don't know who that body is. Okay, so we're having missing people. The family says this guy is missing. I don't know if he's in Gaza. I don't know if he's burned. He's dead. Or Nebuch, the word tzahak, so comes finally to find out who this person is. Finally find out the identity of this body. It's 57 days. Today's 57 days of the war. So 58 days or something like that. 60 days of since the what now? So you can say two svaras. You can say the person was dead. It's not about. Hold on a second. Hello. Yeah. After 9 o'clock, okay? After 9 o'clock. I'm in the middle of Shiur. Welcome with Nella. Bas mitzvah something tonight? Bas mitzvah. Anyways, so you have two svaras. You can look at it in two ways. You have dead bodies. They're definitely dead. We know that. The only thing is we don't know who they are. So we can look at that body is dead. Everyone knows it is dead. The question is, when are you finding out? But we know that person is dead. Here, in the other cases of Shleishim Yom, we don't even know the person is dead. We found out.
Here you don't know either. Until they're identified, you don't know
this body is dead. So we know this body. Okay, but it doesn't make a difference. But this body is dead. Later on, I find out that I am missing the knowledge, but the body is dead. Everyone knows this body is dead, but everyone.
A month later?
I'm saying like it's a very. I don't know what Allah is. It's a
general thing when a relative finds out 30 days after the person passed away, they sit a half a day.
Yeah. So question is now when 6 days after Simchas Torah, what do these families have to do according to Allah? We find out yesterday someone was identified as what? Did his family sit an hour, or did the family sit full shiva? Because not only did they not know, but we didn't even know that this guy was dead. We knew someone was dead, not this guy. We found out that this guy is dead. Is it Shmuel Klevisher? I don't know.
But even if you found out that this guy was dead, we know that he was dead 60 days ago.
Correct. So is it, we can almost like flip it as a chayv, not chayv, but is it chaz Hashem that the body, here by the shloishim in our Gemara, we know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. Come shloishim, now I'm telling you not only that the person died, but it's also your father that died. Someone's father died. Here, we know the person died. It's not like we don't know this person died. We know these bodies are dead. We only identify them that this is your father, this is his father, this is their mother. So I don't know. It's a fine. I don't know the answer. It could be stamam hacking, but it's
deeper. Is DNA accepted halachically?
No, I think it is. I think today it's what's it called? I think it's pretty much is teeth, dental prints. Okay, so Tana Rabbanim. Going weiter gemacht. Tana Rabbanim Shmua Kroiva Nehega Shiva Shloishim. A Shmua Kroiva, you do the 7 days Shiva and Shloishim. Shmua Choika and Nehega Zalim Echad only 1 day. For both, obviously Shloishim there's no because it's when he passed the Shloishim. Eza Kroiva Eza Choika Kroiva B'tech Shloishim. The Choika Acha Shloishim. Kroiva is within the 30 days. The Choika far Shmua is after 30 days. Zilba B'kiva B'cham Oim Acha Shmua Kroiva Acha Shmua Choika. Nehegas Shiva or Shloishim. Doesn't make a difference if it's you always hit the full thing. Amar Abba Chana Amar Abba Yechanan. Abba Chana said in the name of Yechanan, Kol Makom Shetamotzi Yachid Mekel Rab Machmirim. Every place that you find a Yachid is more Mekel, and the Rabim, the majority says the more Chumra is more stringent opinion. Halacha Rabim. Right. The question is Halacha Rabim is always famous song. Yeah, Yuchid Rabim Halacha Rabim. Avim Frid song. So they explain it's two. There's 2 parts here. Usually, when you have 2 people arguing, and it's about something that you want to be strict about, so you go according to many times you go into the opinion that is more machmir. Okay, this guy says like that. This guy says that. We go according to the more machmir opinion. If we have a majority that are more machmir, then you have 2 reasons why to do go machmir. First of all, he's more machmir. And second, it's a majority. Here we have 2 things. We have the Yachid is both Mekel and it's a Yachid, and the Chachamim is more Machmin here, and they are more Machmin and it's the majority. And here this is the Chiddush. The Kol Makom Shetamotzi Yachid Mekel Rab Machmirim V'Lacham Chutz Mizu. This is one of the only places you'll find that the Rabim has both. What's it called? Both advantages to them. They are the Rabim, they're the majority, and they're Machmin. And the Yachid is. Yeah, and still we say that halacha is yachid. Why? Sha'av b'shabakiva mekel acham machmirim halacha b'kiva damar Shmuel halacha the when it comes to Aveilus, Shmuel already said, and everyone accepts this, that when it comes to Aveilus, we are more mekel, we are going to the least lenient, to the most lenient opinion, and therefore we don't have to sit shiva or shloishim after someone finds out that a relative passed away after 30 days. Okay, here we're going to...
I think it's Rabbi Gorelick's position today also.
Yeah, he says... No, but that's...
He asks Shilas, if you don't know, don't ask.
Yeah.
Just go.
Take a shot. The Mama should say... Zakt Amar Chanina Asel Shmuel the Avur Bechazoyim. Chanina heard that his father passed away from Bechazoyim. So this is a far place. So it's after 30 days. Also, the Chizda came from Chizda. Amar Shmuel Choyk En Negasalim Echad. It's only 1 day. Ibn Ba'ami Asel Shmuel the Ime. Ibn Ba'ami found out that his mother passed away in Bechazoyim. Also a far place. Also, the Rava. Amalei Amar Shmuel Choyk En Negasalim Echad Bevad. So Rava said that we only do 1 day. Shmuel Choyk. So Rabbi Nassim didn't. Maybe after the Shiva, Amalei Nassim turned it over and said,
Esvei.
What's that? Sorry, Esvei. Bameh dvarim amurim b'chamisha mesim mitzvah. When do you say that the Shmuel, the Choyko, you only sit 1 day, is by 5 out of the 7 mesim mitzvah? You have 7 people that you have to sit Shiva. Always male, female, male, female, male, female, and then your spouse, son, daughter, brother, sister, mother, father. So male, female, and then your spouse, husband or wife. And basically, for the 5 of them, wife, daughter, son, brother, sister, yes, Shmuel the Choyke, you only sit 1 day. However, for parents, even if it's a Shmuel the Choyke, you have to sit more than 1 day. Shiva or Shloishim, you have to do full Shiva and the full Shloishim. So Rava said, yeah, there is an opinion like that, but Amalei Chidai. This is only an opinion of a single person, and we don't go according to that opinion. The Tanya, we learned in Abdaisa, the father of Tzaddik passed away. He only found out after 3 years. And he came to Elisha ben Avu and asked him, what should I do? And Elisha was there, and a skating Shimei were there, but there were only, some opinions say there was 5 skating with him, so there were only 6 people. It wasn't the majority of Chacham, and they said, that you should do Shiva Shloshim. So we see that it's only a minority of opinions that say you do Shiva Shloshim, but the majority says, no, you don't do. So that's the end of it.
Even by a parent?
Even by a parent, yes. Rav, that bar achve the Rab Chia, the hu bar achte the Rab Chia, we had this already. Rav, that was the son of the brother of Rab Chia, the hu bar achte the Rab Chia, which is also the son of the sister of Chia. What happened here? Avoy was the father of Rab Chia, father of Dav. Sorry, Avoy was the father of Dav. His parents got married and they had Avoy. Then, let's say his mother passed away. Avoy's mother passed away. So Avoy's father got remarried. And out of that marriage, they had another child. Rab Chia. The woman that he remarried was married before. She brought in a daughter to the marriage. So Rab Chia is a half-brother to the girl that she brought into marriage. Avoy is a half-brother to only Rab Chia. Rab Chia is a half-brother to Avoy. But Avoy and the girl are not related at all. So they got married. And Dav was their son. So now Dav is the son of the brother of Rab Chia, Avoy, and the son of the sister of Chia. So basically, Dav had both parents were related to Rab Chia. And Dav went to Bavel, and then he came back to Eretz, and he said basically, Rav bar achve de Rab Chia, he was the son of the brother of Chia, bar achte de Rab Chia, kisalek lost him when he went back to Eretz. Amalei, so Rab Chia asked him to tell me, is my brother still alive? Abba Kayam, is your father alive? Amalei, so he told him, Ima Kayam, is my mother is alive. He didn't want to answer him straight out. Amalei, so he told him, Ima Kayam, is your mother alive? Amalei, Abba Kayam, my father's alive. So here there's 2 ways to learn it. One of them is that it's simple, that he told him, you ask my father? No, I'm telling you about my mother. Other people say, no, it goes like this. Don't ask him about my father, ask him about the mother. So I said, okay, I'll ask you about your mother. Because your mother left. So don't ask him about the mother, ask him about my father. So basically he figured he's playing with him because he didn't want to say outright that they passed away. It says in Meforshim that I forgot the lashon that to bring down, that the announcement of someone dying is an announcement of horses, so he didn't want to be put in that category of someone announcing bad news. So he didn't want to say it outright, so he told him in this way, you ask my father or my mother, you ask my mother or my father. Anyways, basically Rab Chia found out just now, after many years, he found out that his half-brother and half-sister died and he has to say Shiva. And it's a Shmuel Dechoykam. What did he do? So he told his Amal Shami told the servant, take off my shoe, basically take off my leather shoes because I have to say Shiva. But immediately and bring after me my garments to the bathhouse to show you that it was only for a moment that he said Shiva, not for long. He learned 3 things. From here also, general rule that the Ovel is not allowed to wear leather shoes. That the Shmuel Chayk is only 1 day, but not only 1 day. A part of the day is like the full day, and therefore, immediately after he took off his shoe, he told him, let's go take a shower. So here, going back, after all this, we lost track. What was the question? The question was that they said here that Rab Nosson came and asked about his mother passing, and he was told only an hour, to only sit for a day. So he asked the question about whatchamacallit. 1 second. So he asked the question about we have an opinion that says no. So they brought him that's Elisha ben Avuya. Oh, I skipped the skipped the line here. That's the questions about this line. If you go back to the Chaf and Al, there's the line here that says that Achia, when he found out his son passed away, Kashemeis b'noishav Achia begoyla in Golas, it was a Shmuel Dechoykam Yashal Shiva Shloshim. So the Gemara asks, How do you say that Achia said Shiva Shloshim? We know that Achia, which sounds the same name as Achia, said only for a moment. So is it this or is it that? So they have to want to answer that. No, there's two different people. The Achia, Lechud of Achia, Lechud. Sorry, that was the Mr. line, an important line here. This is what happens when you have a long night. Anyway, so basically the question is, we see over there Achia said Shiva Shloshim, even though it was a Shmuel Chaika, and here we see that Achia says we don't do that. So we say a simple answer: no, it's two different people. It sounds alike, but it's two different people. 1 second. There was something interesting here. There was a question bring up. I'm going to finish up with this. We brought the pasuk that how do you know that Shiva is 7 days? From the pasuk where Fachte Chageichem Na'avel, that I'm going to switch over your Yontif for Avel for a morning. Yontif is 7 days. Switch it over. Simple question. In Parshas Vayechi, we have that Yosef said in 2 weeks, V'yas la'aviv Avel Shiva Yom. This is a pasuk that said that is going to do 7 days. So that's what Tzizis is asking over here. Avchaf Amud Aleph, Machak Shiva. A quick thing. Machak Shiva, Mashal Medir Eim Shmoyne Shmoyne Chag, Mashal Shmoyne Regel Fnatzmu. The first question is here. Maybe say that Shiva is 8 days. Why? Because Sukkot has 8 days. Sukkot has 8 days. So the first question is maybe Shiva should be 8 days. Mashal Medir Eim Shmoyne, maybe it should be 8 days. Shmoyne the Chag, like the 8 days of Sukkot. So simple answer. Mashal the Shmoyne Regel Fnatzmu. The 8th day of Sukkot is really a separate Yontif. It's Yontif Chag of Simchas Torah. Of Shmini Atzeres. So you cannot bring a proof that Shiva is 7 days from Yosef, that he says, it says so clear that he did an Eivel, Shiva Yom. Why not? Because when did that happen? That happened before Yaakov was buried. This was in Egypt. Yaakov was buried like months after he passed away. The Matzah the Hasam Kodim Kvoda was before Kvoda. I'm going to stop here because this is what it is.